Hello there everyone, it is me again, the Vibe Master. So this is going to be raw, just completely unedited. This is going to be just my thoughts on everything that's happened recently with the new Dead by Daylight Netease update, and everything you need to know, the positives, the negatives, and what I would recommend to do for either playing the game or trying to stream the game in general. So first of all, let's talk about the positives. Currently, I'm not going to lie, there isn't many. Main improvements currently is the overall graphical feel isn't too bad when you're on a high-end device. And second of all, I do like the new features they've added in. For example, the spectate mode is brilliant. To give all dues to Netease, they've done a really good job with the spectate mode. It shows absolutely everything from gen progress down to player auras, even the location of the hatch. It's a really good solid tool, which I'm surprised is probably better than the core version, to be completely honest with you. It runs really smoothly. It's a lot better than the gameplay. It's actually brilliant for what it does. Okay, but that's really it when it comes to the positives as of right now. Here are the massive negatives. The game is, first of all, running on a engine that feels around about 4 years old, and it feels like Dead by Daylight from around about, I think, 2019 or so. That's where the perks are currently dated to, for old Decisive Strike, old Objective Obsession, which are incredibly broken on the Survivor side, and on Killer side, we have the Mauries, which currently allow you to immediately kill someone after hooking them a single time, which, as you can tell, when it comes to the higher ranks, basically means the killer has to get, instead of 8 hooks for even the old Mauries that we're used to in the global version, they only have to get 4, which is incredibly easy, and even 1 hook, and then getting another down, even with BT, completely bypasses Decisive Strike, and essentially makes the game a 3-on-1 as early as 5 or 4 gens, depending on the killer, and depending if they decide to camp or tunnel it out entirely. So it's really not a healthy state of the game. As of right now, you either get lucky as a survivor and you don't get a Maury and the game is relatively fun, or you are against the killer with a Maury and you have to play so incredibly safe and basically playing a completely different game. You have to stealth for half the time. It's incredibly boring. Chases don't really mean much at all, because if you make a single mistake, the game is essentially over for you. And once one person is down, as everyone knows in top level play, the game is essentially over. A 3-on-1, the killer wins 99 times out of 100. It isn't even close. And so that's the major problems gameplay wise. This isn't even talking about the many other issues that I'm now going to cover. The biggest major one being optimization. The optimization of this game is without a doubt poor. Poor is an understatement. On even my iPhone XR, for example, that I record all my gameplay, stream on all the time, every single day. Please do go follow my Twitch, by the way, TTV_ the Vibe Master. By this point, it's basically unplayable. Frame drops are constant, never ending, always happens. I'm on low graphical settings, the lowest possible you can be on, and I'm still suffering constant frame drops. The game looks ugly on low graphics, but I have to play on it just to even get a semblance of clean gameplay where I can actually be playable. And that's only on 30 FPS. I can't play anything above that or my game will throw a hissy fit. Second of all, it turns out that I've found from some information from some people who are a little bit more knowledgeable than me, that there are currently on launch 3 servers that are available for the entirety of the game. Free. One for covering the entirety of Europe, somewhere in either France or Germany. I don't know exactly where. There's one that's been confirmed in Korea for the Asian side, and there's one for the entirety of the US, South America, North America region. That's it. That's all we have as of today. As of the time of recording this video, there are 3 entire servers. So if you didn't know, the old DbD global version that the majority of us have played on was a peer-to-peer version of the network. So it was based upon usually the killer's internet. So if the killer's internet was good, everyone would play well, and if not, then you'd play even the game would be laggy for the majority of people. So it was a decent system, considering the majority of people these days do have decent internet, and it really isn't an issue. which is what I would make as a suggested change right now. Go back to peer-to-peer. It might just be what we need to tide over until we get some more servers. I don't know why they decided it was smart to launch a free servers. Even on the official Dead by Daylight Twitter, for example, they are telling us to use a VPN if you are not in your own region, which is leading to a majority of terrible decisions, because I've been in my games in normal EU lobbies against killers from China and Japan who have VPN'd over to my servers because it's easier for them, because they get basically free downs and free wins because they hit you through pallets, vaults, windows. It's insanely frustrating when they hit you from about 3 meters away and they're absolutely nowhere near you, and then you get hit through every single pallet. They get stunned 2 seconds late. Sometimes they don't even get stunned when you hit them with a pallet. It's absolutely disgusting, and it's incredibly frustrating as a survivor player to watch because killers have such an insane advantage. If you go look at the leaderboards for yourself as of right now, you can purely see that the killers have so much more pips compared to the top survivor players, who are breaking around like the 10s and 20s right now, while the top killer player, I believe, the Croc Plays YT, at the time of this recording, is around about 180 pips on rank 1, which is insane. He's well above the rest. The reason for that, he's on VPNing to US servers, which has been confirmed. He's a Chinese player that's VPNing onto US servers. And you wonder why he's getting these insane wins and getting 4Ks, because it's basically impossible to counter a person that's essentially playing on 200 ping constantly. It's impossible. It's almost unachievable. So it leads to overall an incredibly frustrating experience for Survivor. Not even factoring in the fact that then you play Mauries, which, again, like I've said, 1 hook equals kill. Guaranteed. And you wonder why the game is in such a plague state. Some of the top players that I've seen and played with are already considering quitting the game until something is done. Because as of right now, it's a laggy, almost unplayable mess for the majority of devices. It's blatantly unfun to play for both sides, to be completely fair, because old versions of perks on the survivor side can be very busted if the killer doesn't bring a Mori, which means when they do bring a Mori, they win the game every time due to the current ping issues and the majority of, well, just old Moris being basically essentially broken. So the game is in a horrible state of, I do this bad, so I'm going to retaliate with the Moris, which are even more broken than the Survivor perks, so the Survivor tries to bring even more perks to counter this. It's just a toxic cycle back and forth of horrible, horrible gameplay for both sides that's just going to create a terrible gameplay environment, which it already has. It's only about 48 hours into the game's release, and we're already at this stage where people are starting to complain. I'm not the only one that's probably done this, but I just wanted to get these thoughts off my chest, to be honest, and see how the rest of the DbD community feel. So please do share this with anyone. I'm not trying to ask for subscribers or anything like that. Just please do comment. Tell me your guys' thoughts, how you feel about this. Because I'm incredibly passionate about this game. I'm trying to make a career out of what I've got. And right now, I'm even considering just waiting a couple months to see what happens, because it's honestly horrible. So that's going to wrap up the video. There's not much else for me to talk about now, but I appreciate you all listening in for my little rant of the day, and I'll see you all in the next videos, hopefully coming soon. Goodbye now.